Again, some interesting critters out on the front porch this morning. Namely, first of all, this one, a big moth with big hairy antenna. Look at him. Isn't he something? Wow. Look at that face. Yeah. See how big he is compared to the light fixture? I mean, he's got to be 3 inches. And of course, the hummingbird just came up to the feeder and saw me and took off. And then we got one of these walking sticks up here on the porch ceiling. He's not a very big one, but there he is. Yeah, we're being visited by all kinds of creation today. And I figured as long as I have you out here and this thing's actually recording, maybe I'll take a quick walk around the garden. It's second week of August and the daisies, the Shasta daisies, are just about done now. They usually pop about July 4th and go for 5 or 6 weeks. And as you can see, we've come to nearly the end of their run. But that's okay, because the Rudbeckia are coming back. And the Russian sage, Perovskia, this beautiful Mediterranean plant, is really kicking in about this time of year when it gets nice and hot. These things are pretty awesome. They grow. We couldn't grow them at our last place because the soil was too much clay, too wet. But here, boy, they grow like crazy. In fact, they're almost a weed here. We find them all over our garden, even places we didn't plant them. But they sure are beautiful, and the bees really love them. You can see some bees flying around in there right now. And of course, the coneflowers have kicked in. They'll go for a little while longer. And then we have a spirea hedge on the outside of this bed, which is still pretty much in full flower. This butterfly bush is just coming back. It had a rough year last year. It used to be a giant, and something happened to it. I don't know what exactly, but I thought it was dead, but it made a comeback, so that's good news. And of course, the yarrow, this Coronation Gold, is starting to go to seed now, and it's getting a little leggy. As you can see, this is actually hanging right out of the bed. I got a whole bunch of it caught on my lawnmower when I ran around here the other day mowing the grass. So we'll have some deadheading to do there before long. There's a nice patch of coneflowers right in the front of the bed. There's the porch, the view, shop in the back. That's a smoke tree. I don't know if you can see it in the back there. And a crab on the back corner of the house. Little garden ornamentation. The front steps. Flagstone path. Just weed killed all the stuff in between the stone the other day. Be time to get that out of there soon. And then more of the same on this side. Like I said, Shastas are just about done. Coneflowers are in their prime. Yarrow starting to fade. Perovskia, Russian sage. I love this plant. It's really kicking. And check out this butterfly bush. It's like 8 feet tall. The hummingbirds, and butterflies, and bees are going crazy on this thing. And again, like on the other side, the spirea hedge. Little patch of Rudbeckia down in here. Believe it or not, our 4-inch wellhead is buried in there somewhere. We did a pretty good job of covering it, I think. And I don't know if you can see these or not. They're called Gora, or whirling butterflies. And when it's pretty entertaining to watch the bees work these, because they'll attach themselves to a flower and it'll weigh down the branch, and then when they let go it'll pop back up. And they really like these things, so I see that happening a lot out here in the garden. It's one of those little entertainment things you get if you sit and watch your garden long enough. Japanese maple in the corner. Some big bridal wreath spirea. They look a little rough this year, although they did flower quite nicely. Got a weeping crab. It's a Louisa crab. It's got a few patches of tent caterpillars on it. I'm going to have to cut those off this weekend. Looks like we got lots of work to do this weekend. Another spirea hedge. This is an Anthony Waterer spirea hedge. It's done flowering, so I need to hurry up and trim this so it'll reflower. Around to the side of the garage. Rosy Glow Barberry. Some viburnum that we thought were dead. Well, I thought they were dead. Irene said, just cut them back, they'll come back, and she was right. I forget what they're called, snowflake viburnum. They basically flower all summer long, although these are looking a little rough right now. Probably need to get some water on them. And my prize Korean lilac hedge around the edge of the driveway here. All of this lavender. Love the smell of this bed. Some false spirea. They pop in the fall. A little blue. Rain gauge. Looks like we've had less than an inch in I don't know how long. I haven't emptied that in probably a month, so it's been pretty dry here. And then the back porch. And the observatories. The roll-off needs paint. I've got the paint in the garage. Just waiting for a day when it's not 900 degrees out here to do it. As you can see, the grass is pretty dry. Looks like Texas here, not Michigan. These bushes are Korean spice viburnum. They have the most awesome smelling flowers, which is why they're parked under my office window and my kitchen window. They flower in May. This is their Java Red Weigelia that I just trimmed back, so I basically cut all the red foliage off. They're going to have to work back into the red now. They needed to be trimmed. They were looking poor. Azumi crab, white flowers in the spring. We just mulched this bed the other day. That was a lot of work. And redbud on one side of the shop with some hostas underneath and the smoke bush. And there are two shade gardens, more or less, one on either side of that bed, but I think you get the idea. So here we are to the other side of the house. These maroon plants are called 9 bark. They also flower. They're done, so I trimmed them back.